has all day, loaded up, taking a shot, looking for A.J. Brown. He's got it! Touchdown!
Jalen Hurts, a nonchalant, crisp hairline, beautiful but yet corny, but yet sometimes really, really ass quarterback. But in my opinion, I love Jalen Hurts. I am not an Eagles fan, even in the slightest. Some of my friends are Eagles fans, and some of my enemies are true Eagles fans, and I want to rip their souls from their body. But I could never, ever hate Jalen Hurts. I used to think, oh, this dude's a cornball because the way he talks in those those Instagram captions that like high school football players put, like, I'm a dog in the trenches, the G is silent, like lasagna, like all that stuff. We all did that. I mean, I would post like that when I played basketball in middle school. I'd post some cringe captions too, and Jalen Hurts still talks like that. But you know what? I found the beauty in Jalen Hurts. I found the beauty in him having to be shoved in the ass during every single tush push. I found the beauty in him just winning a Super Bowl MVP award versus Patrick Mahomes, the mighty Mahomes, right? The frog guy, right? The frog voice guy, right? He brought Philly a Super Bowl. This was under 16, 17 months ago still, and now the Eagles are already thinking about trading him. They're already considering not re-signing him. There's a bunch of stuff that leaked that Eagles players were talking absolute garbage about him in between the locker room, in between the games. A.J. Brown, obviously the biggest wussy-badoosie ever, was like, I didn't get the ball. Jalen didn't throw me the ball. Even though sometimes the Eagles would win, A.J. Brown would still complain, and he'd bring that book on the sideline and go, oh, look at me, I'm A.J. Brown. I don't really care, I'm A.J. Brown. And Jalen Hurts got tortured, even by Eagles fans. And you know what? I have to say, I think some of them weren't appreciative enough. Listen, if a guy brought you a Super Bowl, he really did obviously help. He was the starting quarterback. That would make sense. It's really hard for me to see how someone can deserve so much hate just the next season over. Sure, he played a bit like ass cheeks this season. Sure, he wasn't the best, but it could always be worse. It could always be worse. You could be a Saints fan like me, a real Alvin Kamara meat writer, and have to deal with our quarterback situation. Or obviously look at Jets fans. If a quarterback brought the Jets a Super Bowl, they would, I think, make him 45,000 statues. I think every woman that ever considered being a Jets fan would, give him a good time. They would adore him for life, even if he committed the worst tax evasion, theft, murder ever. As long as a quarterback brought the Jets a Super Bowl, they would adore him. So you have to look at it like that, Eagles fans and people that just hate Jalen Hurts. He won it. He won one. A lot of NFL superstars and Hall of Famers, sometimes they don't even win one. They're great, but Jalen Hurts did it. And I was very scared to say how much I love Jalen Hurts. I was scared because a lot of my friends absolutely they it's like almost as much as people like hate SGA. Like they hate Jalen Hurts. And I was a closeted Jalen Hurts fan. I was scared to go out there and say I love Jalen Hurts the exact same way I was scared to say I like Taylor Swift. Just like Jalen Hurts, I used to hate Taylor Swift, hate her. A lot of girls I used to talk to were obsessed with her, and when those girls would do me dirty, I would hate Taylor Swift because it was like association. A girl did me dirty and her favorite person in the world was Taylor Swift. I couldn't be able to stand listening to Taylor Swift because it would just remind me of that girl. I'm like, screw you, Taylor. Just like how I used to hate Jalen Hurts a lot because he was an Eagles player and they won a Super Bowl. Hated him. And then the more I, watched Jalen Hurts play well sometimes, the more I watched, that run to the Super Bowl, and like even the game he had, the other Super Bowl where they lost to the Chiefs, Jalen Hurts put on an absolute clinic even though they lost. Like that was nuts. And the more I listened to Taylor Swift, and the more I realized, oh wait, wow, the song that I'm singing in my head is a Taylor Swift song. Like she has absolute bangers. Now, like before I film videos, before I do homework, I'm not gonna lie, I found myself listening to prime Taylor Swift right before filming to like hype me up and like get me dancing, get me groovy. And I realized all throughout college, before every pregame I ever had, before every time I started to go out with my friends, we were blasting Taylor Swift on the speaker for our house parties. And this was a girl that I hated because of association, because of other girls who liked her, and I hated those girls. And I was like, oh, I can't stand Taylor Swift. Oh, why is she at the NFL game? Why is she talking to Travis Kelce? Why does the NFL camera keep showing her on the screen? Screw her. Hey, you shouldn't be there. And I took a step back and I realized I think I need to release some hate from my heart. It was bad. Listen, I still hate people like Chet Holmgren. I still hate people like Jimmy Fallon, like with a weird passion. I still do. And maybe one day I can release myself from hating Jimmy Fallon and from hating Chet Holmgren. But it started with Taylor Swift and Jalen Hurts. That's where I first wanted to finally release myself from a bit of hatred, because when you hate someone, you're weirdly like obsessed with them. It's what it comes with. It comes with like, you just think about them all the time. I caught myself thinking about how much I hated Taylor and how much I hated Jalen Hurts all the time. And then I just had to look at like the good things they've done. I had to look at, how many rushing TDs Jalen Hurts brought me in one of the years I drafted him for fantasy football. He won me a couple games. He was like QB4 one year and I almost won my league. I got some money back from the buy-in because I had some, nice weeks from him. I got third place, I think. So I got my money back from my buy-in. So I was like, oh, okay, thank you, Jalen. That's one good thing you've done. You're also like, you have a crisp hairline. Makes me want to have a crisp hairline too one day. Maybe cut off the broccoli hair and get that. You seem like a pretty nice dude. Like he does give back to charity all the time. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't hate a guy who has no idea who I am, more successful than me and richer and handsome. You know what? Maybe I should release some of that Jalen Hurts hate. And then I look at Taylor Swift. I'm like, you know what? I do kind of dance and, do a little boogie woogie to a couple of Taylor Swift bangers. And there are some girls that I meet now that I actually do like and that, might actually start dating and they like Taylor Swift. I'm like, you know what? I'll listen to Taylor with you. Oh, no, I don't hate Taylor. Of course, I'm not going to tell them how much I used to hate her. I'll be like, oh, I love Taylor Swift. Oh my God, girl. Yes, I love Tay T Swift. I'm a Swiftie for life. Oh, I'll go to the Eras tour with you, all that stuff. It's because I was able to release the anger from my body and I was scared. I was a very huge closeted Jalen Hurts fan. I was a closeted T Swift fan. I was like, when I started to realize how, good they were at what they do sometimes and how much good they've done, I was like, oh, I can't go back on it now. I already told people how much I hate them. I already said how much I hated Jalen Hurts and Taylor Swift. I can't come out now and be like, I love them. But this is it. This is me telling the world that, you know what? I will probably listen to Taylor Swift while working on editing for the video and while working on my homework. And I will listen to Taylor Swift while maybe working out and going on a run. Maybe I will go on a walk after this and listen to T Swift bangers. Maybe I will draft Jalen Hurts in fantasy football next year. And maybe I will, okay, I was going to say buy a Jalen Hurts jersey, but I would never do that. But maybe I will, watch more Eagles games because like I hope he does better and I hope AJ Brown gets traded and Jalen Hurts can, live a bit more freely now. Like I'm finally saying that I do appreciate both of these people. I appreciate Taylor Swift. I appreciate Jalen Hurts. And sometimes you do have to find the good in people if you really hate them, because hating someone is a lot of your own energy wasted, especially the person doesn't know who you are. It's even weirder. And that's what I realized. It will be still difficult, maybe impossible for me to release the hate for Jimmy Fallon and Chet Holmgren because they actually just like make me want to just like explode in my brain. But Jalen and T Swift, I release you. I release you from my heart. I want to put good things out there for you. I wish the best of both of you. Keep making bangers, T Swift and Jalen Hurts. You're going to have an MVP type season next year. Yeah, you will. I believe.